This documentary about overcoming life's darkest moments isn't on Netflix, and that's exactly why you need to watch it. Look, I've been through my share of tough times, and I'm tired of watching feel-good fluff that barely scratches the surface. My Silver Lining documentary on lrodvinetwork.com is different. It's raw, real, and completely transformative. This isn't some glossy production designed to make you feel better for 30 minutes. It digs deep into what it actually takes to turn your pain into purpose. The storytelling is so powerful that mainstream platforms wouldn't touch it. But that's their loss and your gain. You get exclusive access to stories that will genuinely shift your perspective on adversity. I watched it 3 times because each viewing revealed something new about resilience. The convenience of streaming it on lrodvinetwork.com means you can pause, rewind, and really absorb these life-changing insights. Don't settle for surface-level inspiration when you can access something that actually moves the needle. Head to lrodvinetwork.com right now and discover the documentary everyone's missing.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to this week's episode of Thirsty Topics. Hey, Meryl.
Hey, how are you?
I am doing fantastic. How are you doing today?
I'm really good. I'm really good. I have a show tonight and I just went grocery shopping, so 9 out of my 800 things are done.
There you go.
I've taken care of 8% of my life. What about you?
You know what? I'm doing pretty good, too. Like I said, looking forward to my son graduating in a couple of months. So before I know it, that's going to be right here. So we're already started plans looking at that. So very excited.
Yay!
Very proud, Papa.
That's so sweet. That's so cute.
Now, was it a hard transition changing over the times over the weekend?
No, in fact, that's what my first subject is going to be. But no, I'm one of the people. This is my Super Bowl where like I'm made for this time change because like I want it to be 4 a.m. and like I wish that businesses were open starting at 4:30 a.m. because I'm definitely like such a morning person that I would love it to be light and bright starting at like 3 a.m. Like I feel like I would do well in Alaska, you know, when it's like sun 24/7 and no one can fall asleep. Like that is my ideal living circumstance. So I have been going to bed a little bit earlier, but I wake up now at like 6 a.m. and I'm the other day I was at the coffee shop before it even opened, and even the girl was like, "Oh my God, calm down." What about you? How do you feel about it?
You know what? I would love it if it stayed the same. I kind of prefer the light at the end of the day as opposed to the beginning of the day.
Really?
Yeah, just because it seems like you go to work, it's dark, then you come home, it's dark.
I
Where you
know.
got the longer days, at least you still feel like you can do some things after work or in the evening. So I kind of prefer it that way, but that's me.
I know. You know what? This time of year, and then I'll go into my first subject, which is about this. But this time of year, when baseball starts, I feel like a kid because like my boyfriend watches a lot of Padres, as we all have to know. I have to suffer through it a lot, and usually I feel like when it's summer out, and I feel like people are outside playing and having fun, but instead I'm stuck watching baseball, and it brings back a feeling of just being a kid and like having to do homework because I feel like it's like 6:30 p.m. and I could hear ice cream trucks outside. And so this season I'm trying to learn how to like baseball a little bit, but it's that feeling for me when there's stuff to do outside and there's like things happening inside that I kind of have to, you know, quote unquote, should be watching. So that's the feeling.
You know what? I think if you went to, maybe not a lot because it is expensive. Maybe go to maybe 1 or 2 games. You may enjoy it a little bit more because watching it live versus on TV is
yeah,
totally different.
Exactly. And I actually really like the Padres really have a nice ballpark. Like Petco Park is really one of the nicest ones. I'm sorry to any Dodgers fans, but the Dodger Stadium just like sucks really bad. And so it's just boring. The food isn't that good, but Petco Park, even just for the experience of like a non-baseball carer, is a better stadium to go to. There's, I can eat like carne asada and just hang out and look at TV screens and everything. So, but my first topic is about how British Columbia is moving to permanent daylight savings time. So this is my dream. If we could just keep it like this forever and ever, I would sign on. So BC says it will stop changing the clocks twice a year and move to permanent daylight savings time. The province announced that after March 8th, 2026, people will have 8 months to prepare before the next scheduled time changes is eliminated. So they're going to they'll have plenty of time. And then the government said the shift is meant to reduce disruption, simplify scheduling, and give people more evening daylight during winter months. The move follows a 2019 public consultation in which 93 of respondents supported ending the twice yearly time change.
I think it's a great idea.
So I'm team spring forward. Yeah, I'm in team spring forward forever.
Yes, I agree. I totally believe that it causes unnecessary, to me, stress on people when, you have to remember to change your time clocks and stuff like this. And also too, it would be really interesting to find out from our viewers and our followers and everything, to find out, which do you prefer? Do you like it to keep changing, or do you prefer it to stay one way or the other? I would love to know that. I know that we have a lot of people who do comment on our site, so I'd love to hear that, to kind of see what the vote would be. What do you think, Mara?
Me too.
What do you think people would vote?
I think most people are, especially those that work kind of like Monday through Friday jobs, don't like to slog it through when you feel extra tired and you're just kind of off by an hour or so. I would also love to hear from people if you do anything different during the time change. Like, do you try to get more sleep on the other end? Do you like drink more water, or do you just kind of drink more coffee and power through? So, because I love any sort of like ritual, or especially with the seasons, I love hearing people's different things that they do to kind of flow with the time. Or if you're like me and this time you just get another Americano.
I mean, do you think that the United States would have a problem switching over to just permanently leaving it one time or the other?
No, I think it's going to be tough though, because we're so divided as a country on everything, and I will crash out if we're stuck in the other one, if like it's darker later. Like if I have to keep waking up at 7:30 and having the sun come out, then I'm going to start protesting somewhere.
So you prefer to have your daylight in the evening then?
I like it light early. So like, if the sun could be out at like 5:40, like I want as early as a sunrise as possible.
Oh, okay. So you're opposite of me. You want the daylight.
Yeah.
Where I want it late.
Exactly.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
If the dream world would be, maybe if we could make up a third one that we can all agree on, where it's still sunny, like sunrise is at 5 a.m. and sunset is at 8:30 p.m. I feel like that's perfect.
That would be great. The only problem is if that happens, that may be a problem for the Earth, being that, we can kind of go around.
Yeah. We've already ruined it enough. What's another, if we could just like, cut back a couple thousand years, who cares?
Very interesting. Now, talk about interesting. This one is not so much as a surprise, but Apple Music is now requiring AI tagging when delivering music to its platforms. So, as of early March 2026, Apple Music has introduced a mandatory delivery requirement for record labels and music distributors to use transparency tags for content created with artificial intelligence. These tags are designed to increase transparency regarding the use of AI in music, rather than to ban AI-generated content entirely. Now, this is an interesting one here, because we talked about this. In fact, we talked about it on an episode where we discussed different artists that literally put out 100% AI-generated music, and it was very popular. So I don't know, Meryl, what do you think about this?
I mean, I think it's at least good that we need to label it, and I feel like that's kind of the first step. Like how even on TikTok or on Instagram, you'll see a video and then it's almost hard to determine whether it is AI or it's kind of sneakily labeled, so you don't really know. So I think we kind of, the cat's out of the bag, and I don't think we're going to be able to put it back away that there is going to be AI content. So I think now the best we can do is just like label it accordingly.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, they're not banning it entirely, which means that they
Yeah.
kind of like the AI aspect, but what they're doing is trying to address concerns about people not knowing whether it's a real artist or whether it's 100% AI generated. Now, what will be interesting is that if people know up front that it's AI generated, would this music still be as popular as it is now? That would be the interesting thing to find out.
I know. And you know what? I think it will be. Like I think the same way that some genres like house or club or electronic or have their own niche
Mhm.
people that like it. I do think that there's going to be, especially like the very young people, there will be people that don't mind that it's AI, the same way that a lot of videos now or like people, I think the younger generations will like it. It'll be interesting to know what your son would think about this, because I know he's like a younger music creator. Um, but I do think people will be into it.
Actually, I may just ask him that because being he's in the music industry, I would love to get his take on that. Because it's one thing for us to be talking about it, but it's another thing to, talk to people who actually in that industry to kind of see how they feel about it. That would be very interesting.
Yeah. Yeah, and I wonder too, like the same way coming up with articles, because I'm starting to see a lot of news articles and like radio copy and everything that is clearly AI. And I wonder if in the future we'll be reading magazine articles or like business journal type things, and that it will say like co-written a
Mhm.
person and AI together.
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if that's already happening. Um,
Oh yeah.
I still believe that AI is a tool and it can't replace the human being. Um,
Hmm.
because we've seen what happens when you go 100% AI and there's no intervention. You just do it, put it out there. Sometimes AI kind of has a mind of its own. It's just
Remember everyone to use me as a learning lesson, where I embarrassingly lost a client in my podcasting business because early on I trusted AI for everything, and then it was making up laws and everything, and it was bad where where like the podcast show notes were like, this week on Tuesday Senate passed a bill, and the people were like, no, this isn't even like a real bill, this is pretend, and they literally fired me. So let everyone, and that was my first like month of using AI, and that was I was caught and whatever, so I learned my lesson, so hopefully everyone can learn through my foolishness.
well, I commend you for being able to laugh at it because I'm quite
Yeah.
sure you wasn't laughing at the time.
I think my finances aren't laughing at it, but yeah, my psyche's laughing at it. um Now if you saw something was AI music and you liked it, would that turn you off from purchasing an album, or going to explore more about that?
Um, that's a great question. It would have to be really, really, really good for me to even consider it, just because you know, as we are all artists and creators in this space that we do. So I believe in supporting each other. But if it's AI generated, in order for me to really reach in my pocket, it's got to be really, really, really good. I mean, over the top, like
Yeah.
wow, not just okay. You know what I mean?
Yeah, totally.
So,
Well, this next one, I'm sure you've heard of this story. This is so unbelievably sad and just tragic. Georgia teacher killed during prank gone wrong. 5 teens were arrested. A Georgia community is mourning the death of Jason Hughes, a 40-year-old high school teacher who was killed after a late night prank outside his home. Authorities say several teenagers were toilet papering the property as part of prom season tradition when Hughes came outside and was struck by a pickup truck as the group fled. One 18-year-old has been charged with felony homicide and reckless driving, while 4 other teens face misdemeanor trespassing and littering charges. Now, I think he tripped. Uh, yeah, so basically, like, all of this is just so sad. When I first read this, a lot of the headlines made it sound as though the teens like killed him. You know what I mean? Like it sounded way more actual violent and intentional than this was. This is still a stupid prank, but it's just one of those things that like unbelievable tragedy and like no one, it's not really a dangerous thing to be toilet papering. It's silly and it's kind of annoying, but it's not really like being charged with murder and homicide. If anything, now this person's reckless driving is the one that really did it. But it's just one of those like freak accidents where he fell and then it happened. I just feel like if this was my dad or husband and stuff, I don't think I'd be able to forgive and like really have the understanding that I do now. I would be like, I don't care, lock them in jail, like which sounds senseless. But if it's someone that you love taken away so stupidly, it's just, you'd feel such anger.
Yeah, I mean, unfortunately, I did hear about this, and I did see, the comments and everything. And one of the interesting things, and I think this is probably shows the heart of his family, is his wife and family are pleading for the boys not to be charged because
oh my gosh,
it was a prank went wrong. So what happened?
I know.
I think it rained or something. Somehow or another, the pavement was wet. So he slipped in front of one of the cars, and one of them ran him over by accident. Now, as soon as it happened, he stopped. Everybody stopped, and they administered CPR to try and save him. But it wasn't, this craze, doing something stupid or whatever.
Exactly.
I know a lot of people don't like pranks. They don't like the toilet paper stuff because it does fly into your yard, and it's kind of a little bit of an eyesore to some people. Some people love it, some people hate it, but this is to me one of those just real sad tragedies. Again, it wasn't meant in malice; it was just a horrible accident. So,
right.
I would say we just pray for them, and again, I know kids do pranks, and he knew they were coming to the house too, so it wasn't a surprise. So
exactly. Yeah.
I just said when you guys do pranks out there, just be careful and really pay attention to what you're doing. Again, just be really, really careful. So just not really a whole lot to say on this one, Merle.
I know. I was just gonna say maybe schools should also just think about cracking down on pranks where you go to someone's house too, because also even just from like an insurance standpoint, what if one of those kids was to slip and fall and hurt themselves? It's like you shouldn't really be at a teacher's house at all for many different reasons, and so I just think maybe that's also just kind of a thing moving forward, is like we don't actually go to do pranks at people's houses.
That's true.
Or like to their cars or anything. Yeah.
Well, we would definitely pray for them. Well, this is interesting, talking about teens, but in a different light here. Teens are getting rich off Roblox as gaming sector struggles. So some teenage Roblox users are earning hundreds of thousands of dollars, and that's not a misprint, hundreds of thousands of dollars each month by inventing games from their phones and releasing them on the 144 million member digital platform. 19-year-old Nate Colley, for example, created a game, Fish, and now collects $400,000 a month, including royalties.
Oh my gosh.
All right, I got to have a serious talk with my son. No, I'm just kidding. Oh, wow. That's all I have to say about this. I mean, you know what?
Know.
Creating new opportunities and new careers every time you turn around. But what do you think, Meryl? Are you surprised about this?
No, I think people make money in the weirdest ways nowadays, and usually it's like fast money too. So I'm once again, I'm not surprised by anything at this point. People have like the weirdest jobs and weirdest ways they make money. So nothing surprises me.
That's true. I just got to ask one question. What are we doing wrong?
I know. We need to somehow like along with this podcast, we need to have like a video screen playing Roblox and stuff, like because I've even heard people making really good money from YouTube libraries where they just, you like put up a vision of a fireplace or something that's already taken, and basically then you create like a faceless YouTube, and then you put it with music of like enchanting winter wonderland or something, and then when you get advertising money and subscribers. But I don't know, these little teens, I mean, good for them. That's a good way. When I was their age, I had to babysit for like $9 an hour. So
Yeah, I mean, these kids literally are born with technology already on the brain. I mean, you can give
yeah,
an iPhone or a Galaxy or every type of phone, and they can figure it out. That's what's crazy. Better than most adults.
exactly. And if you think they can make films, they can make money, they can, do videos early. So I still don't even quite know what Roblox is really. And it's like Labubu's where I don't want to find out. I don't want to know. I'm going to go as long as I can without being ignorant about Roblox.
Unless the team walks up, so are you
Um,
on Roblox? And you go, yeah, I'm on Roblox. And inside you're thinking, I don't know what
yeah,
Roblox is. I
I'm
remember,
also not against hiring. Yeah, like I'm not against hiring a 19-year-old to help me make money as like a financial consultant.
that's true. That's true. I remember years ago when my son, I want to say he was about, I want to say 10 years old or something like that, and got the new iPhone. And he had changed the screensaver on my iPhone, which made me angry. So I'm trying to figure this out. And then he looks at me and said, Dad, you don't know how to do that, do you? Yes, I do. I do know how to do it. And he starts
Oh,
laughing. And he starts laughing at me. He's like, Dad, you really don't know, do you? I'm like, look, I know, okay? I'm just seeing if you know. Of course, I end up giving him the phone.
oh.
Embarrassing
They
dad
should
moment
pair.
there.
They should have, and that's it. Yeah, I feel like they should have a service where they pair up like a 19 or 20-year-old that's making a lot of money, and then I can like hire them, and they can take 20% off of how much they help me make too. Like they could be a consultant for millennials and boomers,
Shoot, actually, that sounds like an excellent idea.
right? Like you pair them up where like they're your business coach, but for like
Mhm.
new emerging media.
Oh, that's true, especially when it comes to social media, because the algorithms change all the time, and for some reason, teenagers and millennials they can figure it out way faster than most adults can.
Oh yeah, totally. I've been selling a lot of stuff on like Poshmark and eBay and everything. And like part of me is like I just want to hire a 22 or 23-year-old to like come in and do it for an hour and take a cut. It's worth I bet someone could like do it and write the SEO for it and have it done like really quickly.
That's true. That is very, very true. You should write that down and do that, Meryl.
Thank you. Good, it's a good service. Um, well, oh my God, I love this story so much. My final one for this week is the RFK Jr. versus the entire city of Boston story. So basically, RFK Jr. found the one way to make Boston really mad, which is go after their Dunkin' and their coffee. Uh, Health and Human Services Secretary RFK Jr., Robert F. Kennedy Jr., has publicly challenged Dunkin' and Starbucks over the sugar content of some of their drinks. On CBS, they reported that he called on the chains to prove that high sugar beverages are safe for teenagers and suggested the Trump administration could consider limits related to these drinks. Boston freaked out because, he was saying that these very sugary iced lattes, especially at Dunkin' Donuts, should maybe be taken away, or at least like we should know more about it. And they interviewed some Bostonians, and hearing these people being like, get away from my coffee, and their Boston accent is just too funny. And so there was cursing, there was people upset. Now I do think obviously like it's gotten a little crazy, just the sugar levels in some of the drinks. And like I also didn't know. I mean, of course, I don't think lattes are like health foods, but I also didn't really know how sugary just like a vanilla latte is. So I do think it's important for us to be educated, and maybe for the nutrition labels to be right there. But I don't think it's up to the government to like yank these things away from us or punish us in any way, because we are sovereign adults.
Agree with that. I mean, I guess two things I'm really surprised about is one, why did he choose Dunkin' Donuts instead of going for the big boys? Like the restaurants, especially the big chain restaurants.
Mm,
And
yeah, yeah.
The other thing is why I choose Boston when Boston is a college town. There's way more
Yeah.
young adults in Boston than most areas because it is a college town. So it doesn't surprise me that they got angry because I mean I remember when I was young, I used to drink Mountain Dew. Now I would not go
Yeah,
and drink that stuff. but but when you're young,
I know.
you know you right now I never was a big fan of energy drinks. But a lot of people like energy drinks, and that's their thing. But I just didn't like it. I think that he may be trying to do something that he feels is right, but I don't feel it's the right way for him to do it. Um, if you're
Ex-
gonna go after if you're gonna go after a major brand, go after all of them. Don't just pick and choose.
This documentary about overcoming life's darkest moments isn't on Netflix, and that's exactly why you need to watch it. Look, I've been through my share of tough times, and I'm tired of watching feel-good fluff that barely scratches the surface. My Silver Lining documentary on lrodtvnetwork.com is different. It's raw, real, and completely transformative. This isn't some glossy production designed to make you feel better for 30 minutes. It digs deep into what it actually takes to turn your pain into purpose. The storytelling is so powerful that mainstream platforms wouldn't touch it. But that's their loss in your gain. You get exclusive access to stories that will genuinely shift your perspective on adversity. I watched it 3 times because each viewing revealed something new about resilience. The convenience of streaming it on lrodtvnetwork.com means you can pause, rewind, and really absorb these life-changing insights. Don't settle for surface-level inspiration when you can access something that actually moves the needle. Head to lrodtvnetwork.com right now and discover the documentary everyone's missing.
Yeah, I think so too. And I mean, especially if someone is drinking a latte every morning, it is important just to know kind of like what you are putting in your body, especially on an empty stomach. Because for me, if I'm like, I don't know, I realize that I feel better when I just have a regular like black coffee with a splash of something rather than just having a huge latte. And I do think a lot of like school age kids and college age kids do just randomly have nothing else in their system but a latte in the morning, and then they wonder why they're tired or diabetic and stuff. But I don't think RFK Jr. is the one that's going to like really win people over with this information. And yeah, if anything, we should just learn and make more options available of people knowing kind of, okay, like if I'm going to get this, but this is 35 grams of sugar, or like noticing that you don't feel well after. So
No, I agree. I mean, the message may have good intent, but the messenger is probably the biggest issue here. So I
yeah. Oh yeah.
totally agree with that statement 100%. Well, my last topic, and this is the interesting one. Some mid-career workers want to be laid off. So mid-career professionals, particularly millennials, surprise, surprise, are increasingly desiring layoffs to escape unfulfilling roles. Up to 60% seeking an external reason to leave, driven by burnout, stagnant career growth, and desire for a fresh start. These workers often view a severance package as a preferred alternative to quitting, allowing them to pursue new opportunities with financial cushioning. Wow, this is an interesting one.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if do any of us really want to work at all. I don't think so. Maybe some of us want to work, but only like when we want to, you know.
Mhm. And the thing is, Merle, is the work environment has really changed over the years. Obviously, the company's always going to put themselves first. That's never changed. But there was a time where they made you feel like you were special and that you were an important part of their team. And
Yeah.
most of the time, most companies, unfortunately, make you feel like you're a number now, and they're really quick to let you know we can get rid of you at any time. Well, that only could go on so long. And a lot of companies seem to forget, especially being that most companies are at will states, is that yes, they can lay you off for any legal reason. but just like they can lay you off or let you go for a legal reason now, the employee could tell you go screw yourself and walk out the door. I mean, that kind of goes both
Yeah.
ways. So a
Yep.
lot of companies are saying now that, well, people don't want to work. No, people don't want to deal with bullshit no more. You know, all the nonsense and craziness that you deal in the work office. Millennials and young adults aren't dealing with that nonsense anymore. I
I
commend them.
know. I do too. My only thing is, and I am all for like impulsive. I just told a friend to quit his job the other day when he didn't like it anymore. But he has a very financially sound husband. So my advice to people is always, because what you don't want to do is be freaking out in a very weird and tough job market by yourself, with like no options. Because like then you're gonna feel desperate and go after something else, maybe even worse. So I always tell people to try to at least have like even a side hustle going on the side before you quit, something to bring in, even if it's like half of what you're making a month, or just to sustain your bills, just to have something rolling. Because like I've been in that situation too, and I've had people quit, and then all of a sudden it's like you think, oh, I'll get another job, and then like months start to go by, and it could be really freaky. And the job market is just like absolutely insane. So and it's hard to apply to jobs on like LinkedIn and all that kind of stuff. So I'm all for everyone quitting. I just feel like make sure you have a little cushioning.
That's true. I mean, there's some really interesting factors with this subject here. For example, while some Gen Z workers are also seeking layoffs, the sentiment is particularly strong among millennials. Um, Also, part of the realities too is that despite the desire for layoffs, the job market remains challenging for some, with older workers 50 plus facing longer unemployment periods and ageism. So, alternatives to traditional work, some workers are using this time to pivot to freelancing, consulting, or starting their own business. So,
I
interesting
love that.
points. Interesting points.
Exactly. Because I feel like jobs are honestly just like dating too, where you want to have some irons in the fire so you can act like you're kind of unbothered a little bit. Because I feel like desperate energy just doesn't work, and it kind of then it spins everyone out. But when you have a few things going, whether it's consulting or whatever, then you're kind of like, oh, okay.
Oh, absolutely. And I think the most important thing is too is that when you get burnt out at your place, you've given your all, you're doing an excellent job, and you see people that are promoted or given opportunities because they know how to kiss butt. um it burns you out and it puts a bad taste in
Oh
your mouth,
yeah,
you know and then if you're treated
definitely.
very unfairly, whether it be discrimination or other reasons, you really have a low morale to do your job because you're fighting something that you shouldn't be fighting. So there's a whole number of reasons, and I think that this whole shift in a crazy way may help the job market because there's going to be a point where either the company's going to have to do one of two things. You either have to change the way you do business and treat your employees better, okay? Not only pay
Yep.
wise, but also treat them better as a person, or you're going to find
Hmm.
yourself out of business. So,
Totally.
so interesting. Good way to end this in our
Good way
our.
to end this. And
Well, Meryl,
you're the best employer in the whole wide world.
thank you. I appreciate that. I'm not even a blip on the map, but I still appreciate that.
No, you're a blip and a half.
Well, Meryl, what do you have coming up?
I have a really fun show on Tuesday, March 31st at Flappers in Burbank. This one is called Miles's Mates, and it's this really great guy, Miles Otway. He's my friend, and he's a great comedian. And so every month he picks like his friends, or he has a different fun show every month. So Tuesday, March 31st. Or even if you're just home, please, if you look at my friend Miles on Instagram, he has like the best smile I've ever seen, which is so funny that his name is Miles, because like his smile is like out of control. He's just the happiest, cutest human. And so yeah, that's at Flappers, and his name is Miles Otway, Otway, and he just has like the best. When you meet someone and like I feel like both of our energies when we met, we were like, we're friends. So
Well, it definitely sounds like a great time.
it's so fun. It's gonna be really fun. And I feel like he brings a great grouping of people every month. So come and check that out. It's good vibes.
Yes, definitely make sure you go out to support Meryl because that sounds like a great time.
Thank you.
Well, everyone,
Thank you so much.
for watching us and supporting us. I'm Lawrence Elrod.
And I'm Meryl Climo.
Take care, everyone. Bye.
Bye-bye.
This documentary about overcoming life's darkest moments isn't on Netflix, and that's exactly why you need to watch it. Look, I've been through my share of tough times, and I'm tired of watching feel-good fluff that barely scratches the surface. My Silver Lining documentary on elrodthenetwork.com is different. It's raw, real, and completely transformative. This isn't some glossy production designed to make you feel better for 30 minutes. It digs deep into what it actually takes to turn your pain into purpose. The storytelling is so powerful that mainstream platforms wouldn't touch it. But that's their loss and your gain. You get exclusive access to stories that will genuinely shift your perspective on adversity. I watched it 3 times because each viewing revealed something new about resilience. The convenience of streaming it on elrodthenetwork.com means you can pause, rewind, and really absorb these life-changing insights. Don't settle for surface-level inspiration when you can access something that actually moves the needle. Head to elrodthenetwork.com right now and discover the documentary everyone's missing.